Every day, we are bombarded with an avalanche of information. Facts, figures, opinions, they swirl around us like a chaotic storm. It's overwhelming, it's exhausting. And in this storm, we find ourselves yearning for something, anything that can make sense of it all.
Enter the simple narrative, a story that cuts through the noise, offering clarity in a world of confusion. It's a balm for our weary minds, a beacon of light in the dark. But what if this light blinds us to the complexity it illuminates? Humans are naturally drawn to simplicity. Our brains, hardwired to conserve energy, prefer straightforward answers over complex ones. It's easier and more comfortable to see the world in black and white rather than the infinite shades of grey. But here lies the danger. Simplicity can deceive. It can lure us into believing that we understand when, in truth, we are only scratching the surface. Imagine a puzzle with 1,000 pieces. A simple narrative offers you just 10 pieces arranged neatly with a clear picture emerging. But what about the other 990 pieces? What picture do they form? What are we missing when we settle for the easy answers? In this series, we will peel back the layers of simple narratives. We will challenge their allure, their seductive pull, because while simplicity can offer comfort, it can also lead us down paths of ignorance, extremism, and division. The question we must ask ourselves is this: are we willing to sacrifice the truth for the comfort of simplicity?
Since the dawn of time, humans have sought meaning in the cosmos. We have gazed at the stars and seen stories written in their light. We have looked at the chaos of the world and yearned for order, for a guiding hand. Religion, ideology, these are the frameworks we have built to make sense of our existence. They provide answers to the unanswerable, comfort in the face of the unknown.
But what happens when these beliefs, these sacred narratives, are simplified? What happens when the intricate tapestry of faith is reduced to a single thread?
Religious narratives, in their simplest forms, offer clear distinctions between good and evil, right and wrong, us and them. They provide a moral compass, a sense of purpose. But simplicity can also breed rigidity. When beliefs are boiled down to absolutes, there is little room for nuance, for doubt, for the complexity of human experience. Take, for instance, the idea of holy wars. Throughout history, countless lives have been lost in the name of divine will, in the pursuit of a just cause. But was it truly divine? Or was it the result of a simplified narrative, a belief that our way is the only way, that those who do not share our faith are enemies?
Imagine a river. In its natural state, it flows freely, twisting and turning, adapting to the landscape. But if you build a dam, if you try to control its flow, you might harness its power. But you also risk flooding, destruction. So too with belief. When we try to control it, simplify it, we may find strength, but we also risk extremism, fanaticism. Are we, in our pursuit of simplicity, damming the river of our own spirituality?
In the theater of politics, words are weapons, and narratives are the battlefields. Politicians know that to win hearts and minds, they must offer a story, one that is clear, compelling, and above all, simple.
A story that identifies a problem, a villain and a hero. A story that tells us who to blame and who to trust. But behind this simplicity, what truths are being obscured?
Political narratives often hinge on the idea of us versus them. They simplify complex social, economic, and cultural issues into bite-sized pieces that the public can easily digest. They tell us that the world is black and white, that there are clear solutions to our problems. If only we would follow the right leader. But history teaches us that such narratives can be dangerous. Populism, nationalism, authoritarianism, these are the fruits of simplified political narratives. When we reduce the complexity of governance to slogans and sound bites, we pave the way for demagogues who exploit our fears and prejudices. Consider the rise of a political leader who promises to make the nation great again. The message is simple, resonant, but what does it really mean? What sacrifices are we willing to make for this promise of greatness? And who decides what greatness looks like?
Politics is not a game of checkers, it's a game of chess. The moves are complex, the strategy's intricate, but when we embrace simple narratives, we reduce this game to a single, linear path. We lose sight of the nuances, the potential for different outcomes. Are we willing to play a game with such high stakes without understanding the full board? Race. A word that carries centuries of history, pain, and struggle. It is a construct, a narrative that has been written and rewritten over time. But at its core, race is often reduced to a simple story, us versus them. This simplification, this reduction of human identity to color, to ethnicity, has fueled some of the darkest chapters in our history. Racial narratives often rely on stereotypes, oversimplified ideas about who people are based on the color of their skin. These narratives paint entire groups with broad strokes, ignoring the richness of individual experience, culture, and identity. Consider the stereotype of the dangerous outsider. It's a narrative as old as time, one that has been used to justify segregation, exclusion, and violence. When we buy into these simple stories, we dehumanize others. We strip them of their individuality and see them only as part of a monolithic other. And yet these narratives persist. They persist because they are easy. They provide a convenient explanation for the complexities of race relations. They give us someone to blame, someone to fear. But what if we challenge these narratives? What if we look beyond the surface, beyond the simplicity, and saw the full spectrum of human experience? Imagine a mosaic, a beautiful work of art made up of countless pieces, each one unique. Now imagine taking a hammer to that mosaic, smashing it into pieces, and then trying to recreate it with only 3 or 4 large fragments. The result would be crude, incomplete. So too with race. When we simplify it, we destroy the beauty of its diversity. Are we willing to see the world in all its colors, or will we settle for the black and white version?
In the digital age, information moves at the speed of light. We are constantly connected, constantly consuming. And in this flood of data, simple narratives rise to the top. They are quick, catchy, and easily shared. They fit neatly into tweets, memes, and viral videos.
But in the race to capture attention, what are we losing? What complexities are being sacrificed on the altar of virality?
Social media platforms are designed to keep us engaged. Their algorithms prioritize content that is easily digestible, content that provokes strong emotions, anger, joy, outrage. This creates a perfect breeding ground for simple narratives. The more extreme, the better.
But these platforms also create echo chambers, where we are exposed only to information that reinforces our existing beliefs. We become trapped in a feedback loop, where the same simple narratives are repeated and amplified, drowning out dissenting voices and alternative perspectives.
This technological mirage gives us the illusion of knowledge, the illusion of understanding. But in reality, we are seeing only a fraction of the picture. A picture curated and manipulated by algorithms that care more about engagement than truth.
Imagine standing in a hall of mirrors. Everywhere you look, you see reflections of yourself, distorted, exaggerated, but still you. Now imagine trying to navigate this hall to find your way out. It would be disorienting, confusing. This is the world we live in, a digital hall of mirrors where simple narratives reflect and distort reality. Are we content to live in this illusion, or will we break the mirrors and see the world as it truly is?
Artificial intelligence, once the stuff of science fiction, now an integral part of our daily lives. From search engines to social media, AI shapes the information we see, the content we consume. But AI is not neutral. It is programmed, designed to achieve certain outcomes. And often those outcomes favor simplicity.
The question we must ask is, who is programming the AI and to what end?
AI algorithms are designed to maximize engagement, to keep us clicking, scrolling, and watching. They do this by prioritizing content that resonates, content that fits into simple, easily digestible narratives. But in doing so, AI can also reinforce biases, spread misinformation, and entrench extremism.
Consider the role of AI in content recommendation. Every time you watch a video, read an article, or like a post, the AI learns more about your preferences. It begins to curate your experience, showing you more of what you already believe, more of what you are likely to engage with. This creates a filter bubble where the world is reduced to a narrow slice of reality that aligns with your views.
But AI is not just a passive observer, it is an active participant in the creation of narratives. Through deep learning, AI can generate content, news articles, videos, even social media posts that mimic human communication. But these AI-generated narratives lack context, nuance, and ethical consideration. They are the epitome of simplicity, content created by machines for consumption by humans, with little regard for the consequences.
Imagine a puppet show where the puppets are dancing on strings. Now imagine that the puppeteer is not human, but a machine. An AI pulling the strings, controlling the narrative. We, the audience, are captivated, entranced by the performance. But do we ever stop to wonder who is really in control? Are we content to be puppets in a show scripted by AI? Or will we take back the strings and write our own stories? The allure of simple narratives is powerful, seductive. They offer clarity, certainty, and a sense of belonging. But in their simplicity, they also sow the seeds of division, conflict, and extremism. When we reduce the world to simple stories, stories of good versus evil, us versus them, right versus wrong, we create a fertile ground for extremism. We draw lines in the sand, and those who fall on the other side become the enemy. Social extremism is not born in a vacuum. It is the result of a cycle that begins with a simple narrative. This narrative is amplified by belief, reinforced by politics, perpetuated by race, spread by technology, and manipulated by AI. Each turn of the cycle tightens the grip of extremism, pulling us further away from understanding and closer to conflict. But this cycle can be broken. It requires us to question the narratives we are fed, to look beyond the surface, to embrace complexity. It requires us to listen to voices that challenge our beliefs, to seek out information that disrupts our comfort zones. It requires us to see the world not in black and white, but in the full spectrum of color. Imagine a spiral staircase winding upwards into the unknown. Each step represents a choice to either continue the cycle of extremism or to break free. As we climb, the path becomes narrower, more treacherous. But with each step, we gain a broader perspective, a deeper understanding. The question is, will we continue to spiral downwards into extremism, or will we ascend towards enlightenment? The allure of simplicity is strong. It offers us a comforting escape from the complexities of life. But comfort is not the same as truth, and simplicity, as alluring as it may be, can lead us astray. In a world of extremes, let us find the courage to embrace complexity, to question the narratives we are told, to seek understanding in the midst of confusion. Because only then can we hope to break the cycle of extremism and create a world where all voices are heard, all perspectives considered, and all truths revealed. Think beyond the narrative, seek the truth.